Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So how do you usually practice to playing a keyboard?
I usually practice with my teacher in my home.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Welcome to the MTsB podcast.
Kita nih cakep.
Okay, so how are you doing, friends? We hope that you are in a good condition to watch our podcast here. For you guys who don't know me yet, let me introduce myself. My name is CHLEONA Diva from 7.2, and as you can see now, I'm not alone. I am with my classmate here.
Hi, my name is HANIN and we are here to discuss the early history of Islam. Okay, so who wanna start first, me or you?
I think you better start first, Hanin.
Great, but before I tell about the birth of Islam, let me tell first about the era before Islam came long ago in Mecca. Before the arrival of Islam, the Arab known as Arab Jahiliyah. In the past, the Arab often displayed bad culture such as worshipping statues. The age of Jahiliyah has always been synonymous with bad times, bloodshed, and heinous deeds that cannot be accepted with common sense. Their social conditions were also very bad, especially between the nobility and the common people. The aristocrats always get a respectable position because they have the authority and opinions that must be heard by the people. The way of life that goes is also destroyed. It can be said that life in Jahiliyyah era could not be accepted with common sense.
Oh, yeah. So, as I understand from your explanation, most people who live in the Jahiliyyah era did not get their justice, and most of their rights were taken by people who were more powerful in their respective tribes, didn't they? And so far as I know, they were also widely traded as slaves, especially the women. I feel a lot of things that are against the humanity and justice. And I think that if it's happening right now, it'll be really insane. And by the way, may I add something to your explanation, Hanin?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, alright. So at that time, the Arabs didn't worship what they should worship because they didn't know about Islam yet. Statues are deities that Arab worship and mainly placed around Kaaba or sometimes in their house. In such a life of heresy, philosophers don't even exist. Therefore, the scientific activity in the Arab society did not develop at all. And let's skip to the part where Islam created the Arabs. The Arab society of Jahiliyyah slowly faded and made a very clear difference when Islam came. And that is what we're gonna talk about more, right?
Yup, and the next thing we will discuss is the emergence of Islam in Mecca. Islam was first born in Arab countries where its arrival began with the birth of Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad SAW is the prophet of the end times and was appointed by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to be an apostle. After that, the Prophet Muhammad spread Islam to all Arabs.
And do you guys know the beginning of the emergence of Islam was in the place called Hira Cave. This place was a silent witness to the first revelation from Allah to Prophet Muhammad through the angel Jibril. And in this place too, the Prophet Muhammad SAW received a command to read, or in Arabic, Iqra. Exactly when Prophet Muhammad turned 40 years old, he preferred to seclude himself to go to the cave of Hira. And in this place too, he also felt peace and comfort of life.
Until the revelation from Allah through the angel Jibril, this incident in the cave of Hira caused the Prophet Muhammad SAW to be afraid. Because at that time the Prophet Muhammad could not read, while the angel Jibril whispered the word of Iqra 3 times. This incident occurred on the night 17 Ramadan. At that time, the Prophet Muhammad received a revelation in the form of Surah Al-Alaq, verses 1 to 5. As we already know that in the letter, there is an order to read.
And starting from here, Prophet Muhammad was told to do the da'wah secretly or Syria. The goal was to anticipate the reaction of the Quraysh, who were shocked by the emergence of a new religion. And after that, the revelation from Allah to do da'wah openly came. And do you guys know what happened next? Tell them, Hanin.
After doing da'wah openly, the number of Muslims increased, which caused the Quraysh infidels to oppress and torture Muslims, so that they made several hijrahs in addition to taking refuge, as well as a way to open the Islamic da'wah.
And starting from here, Islam started to spread not only around Arab countries but all over the world, including Indonesia.
Yay! It felt more fun learning this way than just reading history books, CHLEONA.
I agree to you, Hanin, and we hope that from this podcast you can learn more about Islamic history, and not just listening to us, you can also take the pearls of wisdom from our podcast. Thank you for watching the MTsB podcast about the emergence of Islam, and lastly we say
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.